the table and
How's things? You well?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Anne-Marie, let's kick off.
Hi, Andy.
How are you doing? You well?
Just one change, obviously, to the starting 15. Could you let us into a bit of the thinking behind that decision?
Balance of the squad and the right team to play this game. It's not just about the starting team. It's always about the 23 and not just the here and now, but managing people for what's to come as well. We was pretty lucky in regards to injuries last weekend. Getting people going who deserve it because of how they've trained is pretty important as well. Obviously, the lack of games with the provinces, etc. Always, all these pieces, they always come together, and at the end of the day, first and foremost, it's about getting a performance against Argentina, but obviously keeping the squad ticking over as well at the same time.
What kind of response are you looking to see from the players? Are there any particular areas that you want to see improvements in?
Yeah, most, and from ourselves as well. We're all in it together. We're a pretty honest group. I suppose you've seen that throughout the week with the lads coming to meetings like this. We're a pretty honest group. It makes it easy to find solutions and get to the point straight away and make sure that we turn the page as soon as we can.
Does last week's results and the performance as well put a little bit more pressure on this week?
Pressure's good. It's what concentrates the mind. It's what you see where your character's at, and we want to win all our games. But the opposition are always going to have a say in that, and I think this is perfect because we've got another top draw opposition coming, and we want to test ourselves because we feel like we let a few people down last week.
Dave, Rory, then Ian.
Hi Andy, just to follow on Marie's question there, on the back of a disappointing result, disappointing performance, is it a case that you can't wait for the next game to come to try and eradicate some of the problems from the previous game?
It is. It's the best medicine for you actually to get back on the horse. I'm sure there's a bit of disappointment with a few of the lads that they don't get to do that, but they understand as well. It's about the team, it's about the squad. But and that's why I said this is the perfect game, because it's very similar in as far as the quality of the opposition and where you need to be to draw out that performance from yourselves.
Ideally, would you prefer to have made more changes for the Argentina game?
It's never ideal. That's the game. That's the nature of the sport. It is what it is the whole time, and we act accordingly. And
just elaborate on the challenge you're going to be facing on Friday. You mentioned the quality of this Argentinian squad, and they've obviously really come on quite significantly in recent years.
They certainly have. In fact, they've always been dangerous in recent years. You look at the history of World Cups, etc., and they've always been very dangerous, certainly in one-off games, but the consistency of high performance over the last couple of years is a credit to Felipe and his coaching staff.
Thank you. Rory?
Andy, can you just give us an idea of your thinking when number 10 slot? Obviously you're getting Sam and run off the bench and you're sticking with Jack. He's
ready. He's for a young fella that's not had much game time provincially. He's obviously had more of late, but he's in an ironic way, he's been patient enough because he's probably in his own mind, he's thought that he's been ready for quite some time. He's that type of kid. He's a confident kid. So the experience that he's got through being around the squad, he's a lot more comfortable in his own skin. The reason for taking him on the emerging tour was to make sure that he understood what it was to grab hold of his team and show that he is in charge, and he showed that in abundance. And we've seen the knock-on effect of that within the squad over the last couple of weeks. So in his own mind, he's ready. He's a young kid that's in a pressurised type position, obviously, so he's going to make his mistakes, but that's the nature of anyone coming through, isn't it?
Do you want to see Jack after coming off early enough in the game last?
I mean, Jack, along with quite a few of our players, would have been hoping for better performance. Some of them are lucky enough to get another chance to do that. Others are coming in, and some of them obviously played pretty well themselves, but there was too many people not right at the best last week, and we're hoping for everyone to improve, not just Jack. Obviously, the control of the game is something that Jack would be open and honest about of wanting to step up a little bit this week, but we've certainly seen that in training as well.
Neil the National.
There's obviously 2 debuts on the bench. How enjoyable is that part of the job, being able to deliver that news to a player on a game week?
It's fantastic. I don't get bored of saying it, that we're the lucky ones, you know. We'll celebrate that this evening with their families, and the new caps. They never know what's coming because they haven't been there before and seen it before. It's special for us to be able to do that. We've had plenty of them over the years, so each one is very unique within itself.
I'm sure Andy, you wanted to see a response in training this week after the defeat. Have you seen that? Yeah,
but honestly, we trained well last week. It's about converting, isn't it? You know, when you get punched on the nose, how you react is different, isn't it? You know, to training and preparing well. We've trained well. We've been very honest and open in that regard, which tends to focus the mind in training anyway. But it was good last week. So it's about dealing with the moments in front of our face as the 80 minutes progresses. That's what we need to get better at.
And am I right in saying that Johnny Sexton has been in around the squad this week?
He's in every week. You're not going to ask me this every week now about Johnny, are you? You'll get fed up of being mentioned himself, like, you know. He's in every week.
What do you hope his influence is?
I've seen his influences certainly with the kickers. They certainly come on in the last couple of weeks just by a bit of routine, a bit of support, bit of mentoring, etc. That's not just for the kickers, that's across the board as well.
Yes. Murray? I'm good to know, yeah. All right, any other live questions? Yeah, Bart?
Hi.
Please enlarge on Keane and his contribution to Ireland as a player, as a person within.
Yeah, and that's the right thing, really, as the player and the person. I mean, the utmost respect doesn't do it justice. It's been a pleasure to be able to coach him. I was thinking back this morning in regards to my time with Keane when I coached Keane for the first time. It was 2013 on the Lions tour. And I was amazed at his athleticism. I mean, he would have been right in his pomp at that stage in 2013, you know. And if you remember rightly, he got a terrible ankle injury, and the tour was taken away from him. It was made for him, that type of tour. He's been a world-leading loosehead throughout his career. Hence why I talk about 2013 and Lions, etc. But the transition that he's made in the last number of years in how he's not just accepted but relished the responsibility of being a mentor to somebody like Andrew Porter in the first instance. I mean, he's probably Keane of 2013, isn't he? You know, he's probably a world-class loosehead, and Keane's part of the reason for that. You know, he's been selfless in that regard. Just watching him over the last couple of weeks how he is with Jack Boyle is priceless to see, you know. So I have the utmost respect. He's been a legend of our squad for all these years now, and he continues to be so.
Okay, that's it for the live and barrel section, and the rest